Hey guys, All in Crypto here, and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, for another YouTube video. I hope you've all had a fantastic Friday and a great week so far as we roll around into the weekend. Today is an important day for financial markets, as it is the US's non-farm payroll data day, where they release the data on non-farm payroll. This is what the US, or certainly the Fed, will use as one metric to determine how well or how not so well the economy is doing based on job growth or job cuts and so on and so forth. Now, a lot of people are expecting this to be a negative report, meaning that the economy doesn't look so strong given how job growth is slowing down and so on and so forth. This all factors into the greater scheme of things in regards to the Fed upping interest rates, which is causing markets to be very uncertain, panicky and fearful, and so on and so forth. Because in yesterday's video, we spoke about the fact that the actual balance sheet, the debt owed by the United States government was $30 trillion. And we essentially said, can they really up interest rates by any sort of a significant inflationary tackling rate, given the fact that they owe $30 trillion in debt? Not only does that make their debt more hazardous service, but think about the people within the economy within the US. Their credit card bills get more expensive, their mortgages go up, their car loans, so on and so forth. So this has a huge slowing down effect on a potentially already slow economy. And these are all factors that we need to weigh up. We're playing a 6, 7, 8 dimensional chess game here within the crypto space as investors, because we're trying to work out what direction things are going to take. Now, you guys know my ultimate view is that if we look at Bitcoin and we look at crypto, in terms of adoption, we are nowhere near it yet. And that is all still to come, and there's a lot of value that gets caught up within that. Just like the internet was a technology that saw adoption, blockchain is similar, and there's going to be value that gets caught up within that. And that's what we're banking on, or certainly I am banking on, and one of the real value propositions of being a cryptocurrency investor is that is all still to come. So we're going to talk about a variety of things in this video. We will talk about the non-farm payroll, also the Fed, and this is my really opening statement. And people are worried. They're going, okay, well, if the Fed tackle inflation, that means money becomes more expensive and it's less likely to get thrown in markets and liquidity gets taken off the table and so on and so forth. But can the Fed really tackle inflation? And do they even want to when they owe $30 trillion worth of debt? Because all money is a value system. And if the value of that system goes down, your debt goes down relative to everything else. So that might be one way that they inflate their debt away. And also, you know, typically the Fed and the richer side of society own assets. So inflation is a tax on everybody, but it hurts the poorest among us the most, which is why I'm so zealous about the topic as somebody who grew up on the wrong side of the financial system. And I'm not going to sit here and say I suffered as a result of it, but there were certainly negative repercussions to being on the poorer end of things. You know, this is why this channel exists. So we're going to talk about it all. Bitcoin, in my opinion, and yesterday we looked at a number of schematics of where we viewed charts that look similar to this that actually went on to recover. And I think that Bitcoin is going to do that. The dollar is a chart that everyone is watching like a hawk. Forgive me for the pun. Because people are very indecisive. Some people say it's going to go up. Others say it's going down. And there's a number of reasons for people attributing this. I ultimately think the dollar could see strength, but it will see strength in opposition not to things like Bitcoin, and potentially will go up, and Bitcoin could go up with it, but in opposition with things like other currencies, the FX market, which is a big one to watch for crypto investors, even though nobody really pays attention to it. We've been making these videos for well over nearly 4 months now, these cryptocurrency daily market updates, where we cover everything, including the external world, before it was even a popular topic, for this reason. You know, we are, and one reason we look at not only the crypto space, but the greater financial landscape is because there is periods where we are more tethered and less tethered to it. And right now we're very tethered to what things like the NASDAQ, things like the FTSE, although the FTSE not so tethered because it has a lot of travel and leisure, which we'll be seeing a sort of resurgence given the kind of variant status. And of course, things like the S&P, you know, ETHEREUM and Cardano largely just follow Bitcoin, have their periods of strength and weakness against it, and so on and so forth. We'll also be doing a lot of looking into Grayscale's GBTC, which I'm not sure why the chart looks like this, actually. That's better. So we're going to talk about it all. Crypto markets in general seeing a little bit of an uptick today. This could be due to the fact that the non-farm payroll may come out negative in regards to the US economy, and this kind of all factors into, well, can the Fed really decide to up interest rates when the economy isn't looking so strong? And that would, of course, have negative repercussions within the economy. It's kind of like a bodybuilder on steroids. You know, when you take them off steroids, they lose a lot of that muscle. A lot of it goes, and that's what the Fed are doing. The stimulus, of course, is the reference to steroids, and the bodybuilder or the individual being the reference to the United States. You know, they want to kind of keep it pumped up and looking good for that competition. So that's what there is kind of taking place there. And the non-farm payrolls could be bad. Worst estimates see a loss of 400k jobs. Now, why is there going to be a loss of jobs? Companies unexpectedly cut 301,000 jobs in January as the variant slams labour market. ADB says potentially private payroll fell by 301,000 for January versus the estimate for a 200,000 gain according to the payroll. So they were expecting a gain. Often these payroll, this may not even be the case. It could be the opposite way and they could see the gain. Often these pre-payroll market data release estimates are way off. So this could be still the case here. So we don't know, but this all slams into, you know, okay, well, economy's not looking so great. Well, that means this, that means a slowdown. Let's factor that all into markets. Could be negative, could be positive, could be negative in the fact that people might think that companies aren't doing so well, so they're going to take that risk off the table and hold it in cash in case there is a fall ready to accumulate again. Or they may see this as, okay, well, the Fed can't tackle inflation and they're going to have to keep stimulating the economy, which is good for business in terms of your equities, commodities, and cryptos. Let's continue in that direction and put money in. And certainly over the weekend, people take risk off. Remember, crypto's 24/7. Traditional markets are only 5 days a week. People don't want to hold risk over the weekend. They'd rather enjoy themselves and spend times with friends and family and so on and so forth. So the dollar's seen it's been a really bad week for the dollar, but we've seen previous bad weeks for the dollar, like this period over here, which I'm looking at very closely. And ultimately, it's kind of bottomed out and seen continuation. So that doesn't really mean too much. The NASDAQ saw a little bit of a pullback yesterday. The FTSE opened today in a kind of negative manner. S&P saw a rejection off its 20 EMA on the daily. Take a quick look at the weekly, actually. It's not doing too bad, but what you're seeing here with these wicks is indecision. And this is all due to what we started the video off talking about. It all factors in, ladies and gentlemen, but one thing that you can be kind of, you know, take... you shouldn't listen to this guy over here, by the way, guys. I've seen there's so many montages of how many things this guy's got wrong. I don't want to say too much more on it because I'm not a hater. I think, you know, he is where he is for obvious reasons. But, you know, this guy's... Your typical mainstream media, financial outlets are garbage. And they just follow whatever narrative is popular at the time. Kind of like a lot of these irrelevant celebrities jumping on the NFT bandwagon. Anyway... this is one thing that I want to talk about. Crypto adoption continues, and this is one thing that we try and talk about in all of our videos because it is the future, crypto. The upside is huge. TradFi talent flocks to crypto. And what they're talking about here is people on Wall Street, people within the TradFi world, the traditional financial world, flocking to crypto as they see huge upside to come out of it. This is what we keep saying to you. We see this becoming a growing trend, let alone citizens adopting it. We're seeing companies, corporations, and institutions move to adopt it. And the reason being is because they want to be the people selling the shovel when there's a gold rush. And people need that shovel to dig. Most people won't actually get the gold, but the people selling the shovel have a guaranteed sale. I think it was Grayscale made $250 million. Don't quote me on that. I think that's around about the figures from just facilitating GBTC. $250 million. Huge amounts of money for that company. Same reason PayPal onboarded them. Let's not talk about PayPal because they're doing very bad at the moment, along with Facebook. We're seeing, you know, falls across the board, ladies and gentlemen, which kind of indicates an overvalued stock market. But I don't think crypto is overvalued. You know, people always say this to me. They say, all in crypto, you know, are we in a bubble? What's going on? First of all, I don't like the term bubble for crypto. I think most things, given their birth, have a bubble at some point that pops and then, you know, value gets established because it moves away from being speculative to being value-based. But essentially, I don't think crypto's in a bubble, and I'll tell you why. I posted it on my Twitter. If you guys aren't following me on Twitter already, head over to @RealAllInCrypto. I've got a picture of Hermes in my profile picture. If you're looking for me, it's not the one that's under the under this channel. But crypto is a $1.6 trillion market. The dot-com boom in 1999 was worth $5.5 trillion in 1999. That's probably the equivalent of $15-20 trillion today in terms of value. We are not in a bubble, and we've still got a lot to come, and we've still yet to see Wall Street really embrace crypto. We're still yet to see, you know, it be pushed on a global mainstream level. This is all coming. Now, that may create a bubble, but we'll tackle that. I mean, there is a huge argument, and I speak to so many different people who have been in the economy and finance for as long as I've been alive, and they say there are definitely similarities between, you know, crypto could be the cause of a financial crash down the line, but that's for a completely another video on a different topic. So this is certainly interesting and kind of furthers my bias that crypto is still, you know, becoming adopted. You know, we had Fidelity saying that they were buying Bitcoin since, when was it? 2014. It tells you all you need to know, ladies and gentlemen. Colombia clamps down on crypto tax evasion as adoption thrives. More countries adopting Bitcoin, good for business, good for the crypto space. El Salvador was a huge one. I have worries about El Salvador, to be honest, because what happens if Bitcoin literally plummets through the floor? Now, I'm not saying I think that's likely or going to happen, but what then happens to El Salvador? And wouldn't that be a perfect way for the IMF to, the World Bank, to punish a disobedient El Salvador? It's all, you know, we're playing a 25-dimensional chess game here, guys, and that's what we're trying to do on this channel is give you a little bit of an insight into how that's working and some of the driving factors within that. So hopefully you guys appreciate that. If you do a like, it's always appreciated. So as a comment, and please come over onto Twitter and follow me. Now, this is some more on-chain metrics. I think this is by Will. Again, you should be following Will Clement. Amazing technical analyzer. He does a lot more than being technical analysis. Of course, he gives his own view on things and is an up-and-coming, not even up-and-coming, he's already extremely popular, but he's going to be somebody that I think has a long, bright future within the financial world. Certainly being a commentator on it. Bitcoin is currently the 4th most oversold in its history, according to the dormancy flow. Dollar cost averaging more heavily into this area is probably the best approach for the long-term investors. We see a litany of on-chain analytics that all point to Bitcoin being oversold. But remember, charts are only valid until they're not. Models are only valid until invalidated. And I'll leave it there. And this is from Crypto Bird, which is somebody that I'm not actually even following yet, but I saw this and I thought this was quite interesting. So many on-chain metrics that suggest Bitcoin is very oversold. Well, I'm going to love and leave you on that one, guys. If you've enjoyed the content, like is always appreciated. So as a comment, watch these non-farm payroll. Watch what comes out of the non-farm payroll data, because it will have an impact on markets. We will see it to one way or the other. And my guess is that it could have a positive effect if it comes out badly. Given the fact that people are going to maybe see inflation. Although markets don't really initially react to what comes down the road. They react to the news, and we saw that with interest rate hikes. We haven't even had an interest rate hike, and markets sold off. So we'll see. I mean, we'll certainly see it within the markets before we jump to any conclusions. All I have for you in this one, guys, if you've enjoyed the content, like us, appreciate it. So as a comment, and I'll catch you all in the next YouTube video. Thank you very much for watching, ladies and gents.